The sun rose over a bustling Mexican neighborhood in America, casting a warm glow over the modest home of the Rodriguez family. Inside, the house buzzed with morning activity. Manuel Rodriguez, then a sturdy man with calloused hands and a heart full of dreams, prepared for another long day of work in construction. Despite the financial struggles, the family thrived on love and support. Isabella, his wife, moved gracefully through the kitchen, humming a tune as she prepared breakfast for their 3 children. Their eldest, Miguel, was already seated at the table, his nose buried in a science book. At 10 years old, he had already developed a fascination with the mysteries of the universe. "Miguelito, eat your breakfast," Isabella chided gently, placing a plate of warm pancakes and eggs in front of him. "Sí, mamá," Miguel replied, reluctantly closing his book. Manuel and Isabella had moved their family to America for a better future. The decision was difficult, but they were determined to provide opportunities for their children that they never had. With a mixture of hope and apprehension, they settled in a close-knit Mexican community where they found comfort in their shared culture and experiences. One day, while participating in a science fair, Miguel met John Thomas, a boy with a shock of blonde hair and a mischievous grin. Despite their different backgrounds, the 2 boys quickly became inseparable, bonded by their shared love for science. They spent countless hours working on projects together, pushing each other to new heights of innovation and creativity. "Miguel, check this out," John exclaimed, showing Miguel a model of a robot they had built together. "I think we can improve the motor efficiency by tweaking the design here." Miguel's eyes lit up. "That's brilliant, John. Let's do it." Their partnership flourished through middle school and high school. They competed fiercely, but always supported each other. When graduation day arrived, Miguel stood proudly as the valedictorian, with John right beside him as salutatorian. Their families beamed with pride as the boys delivered their speeches promising bright futures ahead. Both Miguel and John were accepted into an Ivy League college, their friendship and rivalry intact. College life was a whirlwind of classes, labs, and social activities. It was there that Miguel met Sophia, a fellow student with a bubbly personality and a sharp mind. They quickly fell in love, finding comfort and joy in each other's company. Miguel and John grew apart in college. They were still friends, but not as close. John majored in mechanical engineering, while Miguel majored in aerospace engineering. As Miguel and John navigated their college years, their paths diverged. John became a wild child in college, joining a fraternity and partying instead of focusing on his studies. He didn't achieve the same grades as Miguel, and often relied on his family's influence to get by. The darkest moment came when Manuel, Miguel's father, passed away during Miguel's sophomore year of college. Manuel suffered a sudden heart attack, leaving the family devastated. Miguel was particularly affected, as his father was his hero. He sank into a deep depression, but he remembered his father's words, "Never give up and always chase your dreams." Fueled by his father's final encouragement, Miguel began working on a groundbreaking project, a complex analytic system designed to enhance airplane safety. It could detect issues upon takeoff and even aid in correcting engine malfunctions. The project also included a force field concept to protect planes from crashes. Miguel poured his heart and soul into the project, working tirelessly from his sophomore year until his senior year. When he finally completed it, he couldn't contain his excitement. He shared his breakthrough with Sophia and John, eager to celebrate with the people he trusted most. "This is incredible, Miguel," Sophia exclaimed, hugging him tightly. "You're going to change the world with this." John nodded, a smile plastered on his face, though his eyes betrayed a flicker of envy. "Yeah, man, this is revolutionary." Miguel, naive to the brewing jealousy, continued to trust John implicitly. One night, over a celebratory dinner, he shared every detail of his project with his best friend. Days later, John took the information that Miguel trusted him with back to his father, Bill Thomas, who held an executive position in a major aerospace company. The Thomas family was well known for their wealth and influence. When John shared Miguel's idea with his father, claiming it as his own, Bill saw an opportunity. They took the concept to the market, securing licensing deals, fame, and recognition. The Thomas family name became synonymous with innovation in the aerospace industry. Miguel's world shattered when he saw the news. His project, his life's work, was credited to John and his family. And heartbroken and betrayed, Miguel confronted John, but his childhood friend was now cold and heartless. "Sorry, Miguel, it's just business," John said with a shrug, turning his back on years of friendship. Miguel sank into a deeper depression. Despite graduating with honors, his spirit was broken. He married Sophia, who stood by him through the darkest times, and they had 2 beautiful children. Miguel took a job at a local engineering company in his hometown, a far cry from the dreams he once harbored. Sophia became a science teacher, nurturing young minds while supporting her husband's healing process. Miguel struggled to make sense of the betrayal. As he thought back to countless hours of hard work and tireless efforts to make his dream a reality, he remembered the nights he stayed late in the college lab, working tirelessly. His professor often found him there after hours. "Miguel, why are you here so late?" the professor would ask. Miguel, his eyes burning with passion, would reply, "I'm working on a big project that will change the world." His professor would root him on and tell him, "If anyone can do it, it's you, Miguel." One day, after learning about John's betrayal, the professor confronted John after class. "I know this idea isn't yours, John. I have videos of Miguel working on it in our engineering department, and you were never there." John, unfazed, responded with a smirk, "You should mind your own business, Professor." The Thomas family's wealth and influence silenced the professor. They paid him $1 million to keep quiet, and for years he did, but the guilt weighed heavily on him. As Miguel struggled to prove the project was his, he faced numerous court battles, confrontations, and endless denials from John. John, meanwhile, continued his wild ways, partying and relying on his family's influence to get by. Years later, the professor couldn't take it anymore. His guilt was too much to bear, and he no longer cared about legal consequences. All he wanted was to see justice served and to see his bright young former student be recognized for his great invention. He came forward with the evidence, videos of Miguel working late into the night, his passion and brilliance on full display. The legal tide turned in Miguel's favor. The final court ruling was a moment of triumph. Miguel stood in the courtroom with his wife, children, his mother, and siblings, tears streaming down his face as the judge declared his rightful ownership of the project. John and his father Bill were ordered to pay Miguel the sum of $100 million, and they would lose all their licensing deals, investments, and would have to publicly apologize to Miguel and his family. Miguel's name was finally recognized. Almost overnight, Miguel had become one of the most recognized and respected men in the world. The aerospace industry, once a source of pain, became a symbol of redemption and integrity. Miguel continued his work, now with renewed purpose and a sense of fulfillment. His journey had been arduous, marked by betrayal and heartache, but ultimately, it led to a triumphant ending. Surrounded by his loving family, Miguel found peace in knowing that truth and perseverance had prevailed. Miguel, with tears in his eyes, remembered what his father told him: never give up on your dreams. Miguel smiled, knowing he had made his father proud. This has been a story by Sir Fables. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more tales of triumph and inspiration.